Hello guys, welcome to today's episode. If you're new here, thank you for clicking to watch today's episode. Welcome aboard, and if you are a returning subscriber, welcome back. So today guys, we are going to talk about motherhood. I'm very excited about this topic because motherhood has shown me dust, you guys. Imenionyesha kivumbi. So first of all, I'm a mother of two, a 3-year-old girl and a 1-year-old son. The girl is called Imani and my son is Jabali. So I got pregnant with Imani, also known as Koi, at 22. At 22 guys, I had just quit my job at the time. Ilikuwa October, hata sitawahi sahau. So I quit my job due to pressure and everything. Nilikuwa na work kwa call center. So for those who know kazi za call center, and then it was a debt collection call center. So kupiga 200 calls in a day, kushinda umevaa headphones while making calls, like ilikuwa imefika point it was just too much pressure for me, and also the environment was kind of toxic. Not actually kind of toxic, it was toxic. So I decided to quit my job on 2nd of October. Hata sijasahau hata date because I remember the day before I woke up just vizuri, nikaoga, nikavaa, nikapanda mat. At the time nilikuwa naishi Embakasi. So nimepanda mat, nimefika tao. Kufika tao, I just couldn't go to work. You guys, yani nilifika tu mahali niko tu like I don't have the strength, I don't have the energy. So nilipanda mat na nikarudi home after kuoga na kufika tao. As crazy as that sounds. And the following day I went to work, nikaandika resignation, and that was it. So it's October, I've quit my work. At the time, me and Peter, we are talking and whatnot. I met Peter 2014. Now I'm talking about 2018. So that is 4 years later. We were friends all along, but see ati wale friends wati hanging out all the time. We were just talking over phone, like hi, how are you doing? How is life? Such things. So each time na quit job, ndio tu like tumeanza kurudi back to hanging around each other and things like that. So fast forward to November, alikuwa Coast. He had gone with his friends to Mombasa for just a little vacation or whatever. So akiwa Coast, he kept on texting me, uko aje, anatumia tu picha, tu zile vitu wanafanya. And me over here, I haven't had my peace. But I think alikuwa ana sense because alikuwa anataka kuniuliza, wageni welcome. So yes, that's how my peace never came. And I remember nikienda kununua pregnancy tests, I was so scared. Yani nilikuwa na nyamaza najiuliza, okay, I just quit my job. Sina hata job. Like si ati tumepanga kuoana na Peter or something. So when I tested, nikaona ni positive. You guys, I have a very funny coping mechanism of a person. I laughed. Nilianza kucheka. Mimi when I know life imenithrowia a big thing yenye siwezi handle, instead of breaking down and crying, I laugh. Mimi hucheka. So me, I laughed. Nikacheka and then nikanyamaza. I'm like, well, guys, my dad, he's a strict parent, yes, but also a very loving father. Na nimegrow up nikitaka sana ku please my dad. So the last thing I wanted ni kuvunja roho yake. And at this particular point already nilikuwa najua damn, like my dad will be disappointed in me. Honestly speaking, all my life, me working hard, me going to campus, kila kitu, the little girl in me was still doing it for my dad. So at this point I was more worried about how my dad would take the news, but I was worried about what direction my life was now taking. So I told Peter we needed to talk, but in a good way, si ati ile ya kumshtua. So I remember I came to Juja on a Sunday. Kukuja, yeye alikuwa anafaa kuingia job hiyo Sunday. So he went, akanidrop kwa best yangu fulani who is a mom. At the time alikuwa a mom pia. So I went, told my friend, tukakaa hapo. So me in my head nilikuwa na play scenarios za chapter, well, if this doesn't go well, I'll just go home. Mimi nipate mtoto wangu and then I'll come back na maisha iendelee. So Peter came from work hiyo siku jioni. I think part of him already knew Kenya nilikuwa nataka kumwambia. So I remember us sitting kwa dining table. We were in another house. So tuliingia tu kwa nyumba kama ameniambia tuketi chini tuongee, like you could tell and anticipate kusikia Kenya nataka kumwambia. And so I told him there's a baby coming, and guys, like, he took the news very well. I wish ningekuwa content creator back then because that was good content. He took the news very well. Actually, he wanted us to go to the hospital for our first clinic that same evening, like hiyo jioni alikuwa like twende hosi. And I was like, ni usiku, twende another day. And then that night later on, ndo akanishow he actually had a dream before, akiwa amebeba mtoto msichana kwa mall, and he already even had a name. Guys, like, this is the first day I'm telling this guy we have a baby coming, na already akona hadi jina ya mtoto amepanga. And he told me he knows in his soul that mtoto ni msichana na anataka aitwe Imani Wangoi, of course, because Wangoi is his mom. So, and that was it. Me, I believed him in faith. Na hata tukirefer to mtoto hata before scan, before we even knew it was a girl, tulikuwa tunamuita Imani. So that was it. So the pregnancy wasn't so bad. In the beginning, I had such bad morning sickness. Ile yenye singe keep anything down. Nilikuwa natapika kila kitu. But he was very strict with me. Alikuwa ananiforce food, and then tunaenda kwa balcony, tuna breathe in fresh air, like big up pizza. So after your first trimester imeisha, the whole thing ya kusikia kutapika ikaisha pia. But sasa nikakuwa na craving ya soda na chipo na kuku. Yani mimi ningekunywa soda 2 liters peke yangu, like in some hours. I used to love soda so much. And then pia kwenda clinic, we realized that I had mild anemia. Haikuwa that bad. So nikaanza kukula materere. I hate greens, you guys. Mimi nachukia terere, nachukia. And then, mind you, before getting pregnant, nilikuwa nakula tu chipo mwitu nini, you know, bachelorette life. Even though nilikuwa kula, because before getting pregnant nilikuwa naishi peke yangu. We were living with my sister, but alikuwa amekuwa married like 5 months before, amefanya traditional wedding na move out. So by the time I was moving in with Peter, mind you, we found out I was pregnant in November, but we didn't move in together mpaka January. Tukimove in January, I still had food stuff zenye sistangu alikuwa ameacha amenunua like 5 months before I move out. I was not cooking, you guys. So my health already going into pregnancy was not okay, because my diet was not okay as well. So hiyo November yenye we found out I was pregnant, I forgot to mention, I was also graduating. So I remember, na first trimester, as I have said, was difficult for me. It was hell. Nilikuwa sikuli, staki maji. I used to hate shea butter. Peter had some tulogs back then. I'll make sure we insert a photo here more the tulogs I'm talking about. So alikuwa napaka shea butter. Guys, do you know nowadays nikismell shea butter, I don't even understand. Nilikuwa natoa wapi, as in nilikuwa nasikilia wapi hiyo smell. It doesn't have such a strong smell, but hiyo time nilikuwa nasikia hiyo smell, like nilikuwa naisikia. Ilikuwa imefika point tumeagree atakuwa anapakia hiyo mafuta kwa balcony. We had a balcony hiyo side ya kitchen. So he was to pakia the shea butter huko kwa balcony, ndo hiyo smell ya shea butter isibaki kwa nyumba. Na hata angepaka kama nimelala, asimu amelala, hata jua nilipakia sitting room. Nikiamka hata kama nitaamka 4 hours later, nitajua alipakia sitting room na itakuwa disaster. Like it used to piss me off. Alikuwa anatoka job, alikuwa analanga na Marvin kwa kichwa, cause siwezi stand kusikia nywele yake ikinuka shea butter. And then tulikuwa na air freshener ya toilet yote, ilikuwa some lavender. Sikumbuki brand, but nakumbuka scent ilikuwa lavender. Nilikuwa nikisikia tu hivi nasikia kutapika. Like we stopped using air freshener kabisa. So it's November. I have crazy morning sickness. It's my graduation. My parents have no idea that I'm pregnant. The only family member I have told I'm pregnant at this time is my sister, and I asked her to give me time asiseme home yet anipatie time. So actually Peter came for the graduation. Actually kudos to him. Me ningekuwa scared. If I was him, I would be scared. At that time ndo nilijua actually he was serious about me and serious about wanting to be part of my family, wanting to be a family with me, because angechicken out na kose kukam. So he came for the graduation. My dad, I could tell my dad was shocked. My dad has never heard of me and a boy ever in his life, so that was shocking to him. I could tell hata ni kama, and then his friends were there as well, as in my dad's friends. So I remember one of the friends, sorry guys, nikisikia kukigonga gonga huko, those are my kids wako sitting room wanacheza. So I remember one of my dad's friends were there. Guys, I have to tell the kids to stop. Koi, wacheni kugonga. Nani anagonga? Mnyang'anye ache kugonga. Mnyang'anye please. Mechukua. Okay, good girl. Okay. Aye. So one of my dad's friends told him ati the chief hapa ni kama uko na, like it's like there's a threat coming, like I don't remember the exact words, but he was trying to insinuate anaona ni kama already kuna mtu anajaribu kuni swipe off my feet na ndio tu nimegraduate. But my dad just laughed it off. So we didn't even talk about that until much later on. So the whole time kwa kutapika, they had cooked chicken and nini, like there was a lot of food. Na ni chakula siku hata nataka kukula kwanza chicken. I couldn't stand the chicken. So nilisaviwa, nikaingia kwa nyumba na sistangu, nikaondokea kila mtu. So me and my sister went to the house and then I begged her, please nikulie chicken, because I knew my mom akiona, you know the way women just know. Nilikuwa najua my mom akiona skuli chicken, as in ataanza kususpect something is wrong, because hata sikuwa nakaa all that healthy and everything. Nilikuwa na dark circles huko. I don't know if you can see them. I have them still. Nimerealize they're coming back. Every time I have the black circles, mutual. It's either anemia, loading or something. So yes guys, the pregnancy went well, of course, because my girl is here. Fast forward to time ya delivery, guys. At the time ya nikiwa pregnant, I never really did a lot of research. Research is important. At the time sikuwa kuna support groups za pregnant women and things like that. Ningekuwa nimejoin, ningekuwa na a lot of information. But me being me, nilichill to the entire time, as in sikufanya any research or anything. So going into delivery, I didn't know what to expect. So one day we are just chilling in the house. Tumekula sapa, tumeenda bed kulala. We are sleeping and then my boob started dripping milk. And I called my mom, nikamuliza, mom, so iko hivi, nina drip milk, is that normal? Akaniambia, just go to the hospital to confirm. So tukaamka, tukaenda hosi. Kwenda hosi, kumbe hivyo ndo watu upima centimeters. Me, I didn't know how they pima the centimeters that tumefunguka aje and things like that. I had no idea. If you are a first time mom or if you have no kids, they use their fingers. Yes, they use their fingers. So mi nimeenda nimelala hapo. Nikapimwa, nikaambiwa nishaanza kufunguka. I won't get into details, but that was very traumatizing. Nikaambiwa nimeanza kufunguka. So hiyo tulikuwa tumeenda hospitali tu hapa karibu, but kwenye nilikuwa nizalie ilikuwa a bit far. So thank God we went on time. So we went to the hospital, I got admitted. Ilikuwa around 1 AM in the morning. Tulikuwa napita na best ya pita. So after getting admitted, Peter came back home to sleep, rest kidogo, because sikuwa in active labor. Actually what I remember, yet they put hiyo baby monitor kwa tumbo yangu ya kumonitor heartbeat ya mtoi, and her heartbeat was not stable. So machine ilikuwa inakaikilia ti. If you have given birth, you know what I'm talking about. So Peter came back home very stressed. I was also very stressed because they were like, your heartbeat is supposed to stabilize ya mtoto, itabidi tufanye CS, because unajua heartbeat ya mtoto kama iko chini inamaanisha maybe mtoto amechoka or something like that. So I was very scared about having to have a C-section, and Peter was also very scared. Sorry guys, there's like a fruit fly kanacheza hapo hivyo. So Peter came back to sleep, akarudi tena asubuhi saa 2. Akikuja akapata bado nothing, I'm not in active labor yet, nothing. So I told him to just come back home and sleep. Akakuja kulala, akaniambia atakuja lunch time. So mimi kufika saa 7, labor started vizuri saa 7 ya mchana. Guys, I'm very strong by the way. I have very high pain tolerance. That much I know, that much my family knows. But ile uchungu nilisikia, sijaisikia uchungu kama hiyo tena. So I called Peter. Peter is not yet there. Watu wengine wanatembelewa. Like I could hear watu huko nje. There was also another lady in labor. She was Israeli. So they are Muslim. So her whole family walikuwa wanashinda walking and out. So I was feeling a bit lonely juu nilikuwa peke yangu. So I'm calling Peter kumuuliza hujatoka because I just wanted some company through the pain. And this other lady was shouting. Like nakumbuka alikuwa anaita hazi yake na majina zote 3. I don't remember the exact name, but I remember promising myself like nikimaliza kupata huu mtoto I am going to laugh my lungs out. Na hadi wa leo I still laugh at her. Alikuwa na it was something like Shaja Ahmed. There was an Ahmed there, and you know the way wanakuanga na hoka accent. So Ahmed haitoki kama Ahmed, ni Ahmed. Shaja Ahmed. Like it was hilarious you guys. Ungekuwa hapo ungecheka. And then ukiwa unavumilia uchungu and then mtu wako hapo next to you ana scream and everything, it doesn't make anything better for you. Unasikia uchungu sasa hata times 10. So Peter came. I didn't even want to see him. Juu uchungu nilikuwa hata sitaki aniguza, nilikuwa sitaki kumuona. Nikaleta wa food, sikuwa pia nataka kuiona. So Peter is asking, si ukule tu upate nguvu, and I'm like si ukule tu water like I wanted nothing. Sikuwa hata nataka kusikia mtu akiongea. Akaniambia sister yako amekaa hapo hapo, nimwambia kae huko nje. Like I was in such a bad mood. Ilifika point Peter was just standing there. Ananiambia hata mimi best yangu amefika. So one of his friends came, his colleagues. Alikuja kaniambia, sitamtaja jina, but he was like, nani amekaa? Siwacha niende nimsalimie. And I'm like, siwacha wakae tu hapo nje. I didn't want him to go. Sitaki kumuongelesha, sitaki kumuona, but sitaki aende. So eventually akaamua kwenda kucheck sister yangu na huo best yake. So akiwa hapo na wacheki, me I had the need to push. So nikaita nurse, ile ya ring bell, nikaita nurse. Nasa kakaba kaniambia shuka. So alicheka akapata na kichwa ya mtoto. So ako like kichwa ya mtoto hata ndio hiyo, shuka twende. So nikipelekwa delivery room ndio Peter aliona nikipelekwa. And this his friend mwenye alikuwa amekaa pia bibi yake alikuwa amezalia the same place. So alikuwa ajoko kwenye napelekwa ni delivery room. So he told him enter, it's time you go. So Peter came just in time. He was there, he held my back, he pushed and everything. The pushing was not hard. Actually I had to take 5 minutes. Ilikuwa very short. Compared to the labor, the pushing was nothing. Ilikuwa very short. And the baby came. So guys, here is the problem. When the baby came, me I didn't know that this is how you detect. I mean guys, Koi, yeah. Can you stop playing with water? Guys, this is what I'm talking about, motherhood. I'm here nasikia tap kiran, so I know that it's her playing with water. So I didn't feel the connection when the baby came. Now looking back, so I had Jabali. When I had Jabali, I remember just looking at him in adoration and yani noticing his little features and everything. With Koi, I didn't. That did not happen. Me, I just looked at her nikaona ako sawa, like she's a full baby na amelia, and I was satisfied. That was it. Siku pay any much attention to anything. Later on I came to read and realize that is how postpartum depression starts. That's one of the very key things to look out for. The minute you give birth to a baby now, ukose kusikia hiyo connection, something is wrong. Me, I didn't know that. Kuna kafichana kuanga nako hapa kwa masikio huko amejikunja kidogo. I noticed that I think akiwa like almost a month old, you guys. Like when I say sikupe attention to her, I mean exactly that. And if she watches this one day in the future, baby, I love you so much. Mommy was just stressed. Mommy didn't know what was going on. So I remember sikumbeba until like 3 hours later. My sister alimbeba, Peter akambeba, the friend akambeba. I didn't have the urge ya kutaka kumbeba and everything. She refused to breastfeed, hata alipewa nani hiyo usiku. So we came home the following day. On coming home the following day, bado alikuwa anakataa kunyonya, but eventually alikubali kunyonya. I had had a breast surgery when I was a teenager. Nilikuwa na some complications here and there. So one of my nipples was inverted. Inverted inamaanisha ilikuwa imeangalia ndani. So can you imagine kupatia mtoto anyonye hadi toke? Because that's the only way. Like umpatia vurute mpaka iache kukua inverted. Guys, that was so painful. My nipples peeled. Zilikuwa zinakaa tu vidonda. Zilikuwa red. Like hakukuwa na skin at all. And that was a disaster. That was a disaster. Guys, I have to check on the kids. 1 minute. I'm back, guys. So I was saying about the nipples peeling. So besides the nipples peeling, I was stitched. Nilikuwa na stitches. So this girl could not sleep at night. Alikuwa analia, like ile kulia kabisa. We used to sleep at 4 or 5 a.m. in the morning. Like kutoka kitu 10 analia bure. Like ile umpatie nyonyo, hata umuoshe, hata ufanye, nothing used to work. Nikilio tupu. So can you imagine you're sitting down to breastfeed like throughout almost the whole night. Alafu alikuwa hatakai kuacha nyonyo. Alikuwa ananyonya hadi anafura tumbo, unajaribu kumwachisha hataki kuacha, yeye anataka tu kuendelea kunyonya. So can you imagine you're sitting down almost through the whole night na uko na stitches. Yeah? And then ni July. Baridi na stitches na vidonda kwa nipples. Like vidonda na baridi, they don't go together. So nilikuwa nasikia uchungu kwanza asubuhi ikifika hiyo baridi. You guys, like mothers, we are just, yani ni God tu tuwezesha. It's grace that sustains us. Sababu I don't think that the amount of, sitaki kuita torture, but the emotional and the physical stress you go through during childbirth and just raising a baby, huwezi pull through without a bigger power behind you. It's just too much for just you alone to comprehend. It's a lot, you guys. So besides her crying, I was also very mentally not okay. As I said before, I didn't feel a connection when she was born. So that continued. I'm not a very talkative person. I don't open up my heart. Semanki, I just don't, sikwangi straightforward in terms of feelings. That this is how I feel, this is how that is going. Well, with time I have learned. I'm trying my best to be as open as possible. But at the time, bado sikuwa na communicate. I didn't tell anyone about those feelings, about how helpless I used to feel, about how stressed I used to feel. Nilikuwa nasikia ni kama my life is over because one, nimetoka from a very active lifestyle, you know, going to work and having friends and everything, to now staying in the house, having 0 friends, like having no time to myself. Like I don't even have time to sleep. Sina hata time ya watch movie. Like literally you've gone from a very high to a very low. That is just how I felt. And that was so depressing. I used to cry a lot. Something that Peter doesn't know, because nilikuwa nalilia kwa bafu. I used to go, nilikuwa namwacha na mtoto nikienda kwa bafu, ninalia. So one day my sister called me and I think nilikuwa nimefika to end of bearing capacity. I couldn't bear it anymore. So she called me, akaniambia sasa, and that was it. Hata sikusema sasa back. I just broke down. I cried. Up to date, mi bado kumbuka hiyo call. I cried, you guys. Nililia for like a good 5 minutes. Kama si okay. So she's on the other end anauliza, nini mbaya? Ni mtoto? Ni Peter? Nini mbaya? Kiniongeleshe. So she just wants me to say what's wrong, but I don't even have the strength to say what's wrong. So I just cried and cried. Hadi kapiti kwanza to hang up, nimalize kulia, then call back. So I called her back, and that was the first time I ever admitted to someone that motherhood is tough, that it's a bit too much for me. especially given that we didn't have a house girl. Peter only got 2 weeks off from his job. So 2 weeks postpartum, amesharudi job. I'm alone in the house with the kid. I have to figure out how to take care of myself, take care of her. Mind you, I'm still healing. As in, I'm a first-time mom. This came unexpected. I wasn't prepared. I don't even have the necessary information. So it was just too much, too much. And so she called my mom. My mom told me, fanya hivi, just talk to Peter and come home, I'll take care of you. And then she even offered to come get me the following day. Nikamwambia hiyo itakuwa a bit rude to Peter nikienda kama hatujaongea. So acha nitamngojea come so that I can explain why I'm going home. Like, it's just too much for me. So for the first time that day, I actually told Peter everything. Like, that was the first time I actually told people how I was feeling, how parenthood, how motherhood was for me actually. That was the first time I spoke my truth. I won't lie, you guys. It was so bad that I did have bad thoughts. I won't say how bad, but bad, like bad. The thoughts that you hear postpartum depression gives people, yes. I won't get into details because I'm still a bit scared of my daughter watching this one day in the future and hating me and thinking I didn't want her. Maybe one day I'll talk about it. But yes, ilikuwa imefika hiyo point ya have really bad thoughts. And I think it hit Peter different to hear me say these things, and everything changed. He started staying home during the morning. Like, alikuwa anaenda job kwa after ili anikalishe, at least nikule, as in to just be there for me and Koi before I end the job. So hata akienda job most of the time alikuwa ananiacha kama niko na food, like alikuwa ananiacha kama tuko sorted with the baby. And I also learned to ask for help. That was the first time I asked for help tangu nipate ball. Mimi ni ule mtu wa, if I need help na naona hunisaidii, I'll act out, hapa nita throw tantrum, mama nitakasirika, instead of just saying, hey, help me, I need help. Nitanyamaza tu. That's just how I react. I think I'm a caregiver by nature. I love taking care of other people, so without being asked to take care of them. So when someone doesn't take care of me, when I need them to take care of me, I get mad, because to me, I think inafaa kukuwa natural instinct, like I don't know, but I'm learning it's not like that with everybody. Just because I feel the need and the satisfaction when taking care of other people, it doesn't mean everybody feels that way. Sometimes you have to communicate to actually get the help you need. So I learned that, and that was now in 2019. So moving forward, parenthood, well, kulikuwa tuna hizo ups and downs, mtoto kulia, not having enough time. Okay, up to now, guys, because now I have 2 babies. Time hakuna. If you need time for yourself, you just have to create it. But usingoje ati upate time. It won't happen. You just have to be intentional about finding time for yourself. So I started setting time aside to read books, to watch movies, like to just go back and get in touch with that part of myself that I had lost, that I still do today. And as in, I feel the inner me, as in niko sawa, mentally I'm okay. And even niki notice that my mental health inaenda down to the drain, I just go back to creating time to maybe read a book, because I'm a reader. Mimi napenda kusoma vitabu, by the way. They just bring so much sanity to me. I love watching movies. So I just go back to creating the time for myself to do such things. Right now, I'm focusing on this, and it's also giving me a lot of pressure. See, pressure, like, ni kama mahali pa ku release pressure, because like right now, I'm not with the kids. This is my time, so yeah. So make sure, if you are a mom and you're feeling that depressed, just look back to things that used to give you happiness back then, pleasure back then, kabla upate watoto. See ni kitu gani from that life unaweza bring in to now peace your life ukiwa na mtoto, and things will be okay. You just hang in there long enough. You just focus on yourself long enough. You don't have to have 10 hours to yourself in a day. Like, even just that 1 hour to do something you like goes a long way, you guys. It goes a long way. So 2019, Koi turned 1 in 2020. So October, you guys. So don't forget, I got pregnant with Koi October 2018. Gave birth July 2019. Now October 2020, my daughter is 1 year, 3 months. And I got pregnant with Jabali. And guys, this time it was different. I was happy. And this time, remember the first time Peter walikuwa na hiyo feeling, yeah? It's a girl. Now this time I had a feeling it's a boy. And I felt nilifeel ni kama God na universe inanipea a chance to do this again. With Koi, nilikuwa na so many negative memories of pregnancy and birth and everything that I just felt like this is my opportunity to now be positive and soak up every good thing that comes with pregnancy and that comes with raising a child. So with Jabali, it wasn't bad. Yes, there was morning sickness. I think I threw up less than 5 times, by the way. It wasn't as bad like as Koi's. I was okay health-wise until kido kama nikafika, I think 20 weeks. This time, guys, I didn't have mild anemia. I had like serious anemia. Hey, do you know, it got to a point I couldn't breathe. Like, nasimama nasikia kizunguzungu, siwezi pumua. You know, when you have anemia inamaanisha hemoglobin yako iko chini. So when your HB ni hemoglobin. So ile time iko chini inamaanisha hakuna enough oxygen circulation around the body. So kwanza nakumbuka nilikuwa chomwa na jua nasikia kufaint. Nikikaa kwa joto, like kama nikupika napika nasikia kufaint. It got to a point nilikuwa napika hivi, nilikuwa napika kitunguu, nazima gas, naenda kulala. Narudi napika nyanya, naeka nyanya, narudi kulala. Like it was tough to an extent. We had to look for a house girl to sing a hack. Ilikuwa bad. And then my appetite was so bad. I lost so much weight. Remember, this is towards the end. The first half was amazing. Like ningefua nguo, nifanye kazi zangu, everything I was okay. But the other half was just it was too much. Guys, niko traumatized up to date with the pregnancy. I want more kids in the future, but nikikumbuka that part, how anemia almost killed me, because literally it was that bad. There was a day we went to the hospital, nikaanza kushindwa kupumua hivyo and everything. And the doctor said that I needed a blood transfusion because hiyo kushindwa kubreathe na hiyo kufeel kupass out already ni signs za cardiac arrest, getting a heart failure. So going into delivery, I was at the time nilikuwa 30 something weeks pregnant. So already alikuwa anasema going into pregnancy ninaenda nikiwa asymptomatic already. I already have signs of getting a heart failure. And that day I cried because I imagined dying, niache Koi wangu peke yangu. And then at the time hata hapo amefika 2 years. So nika imagine venye if I left her that age hata nikutuka, like atasahau hata uso yangu, and then maybe giving birth to a baby and me not surviving, but as in my son growing up saying he never met his mom. Well, guys, as in it makes me emotional to date. Like I want more kids, but when I remember that part of being pregnant, I'm just like a man. I'm not dying. Like I just don't want to leave my kids. I don't want Peter to have to raise the kids alone. Like I want to be here. I want to be here. So yeah, unless God touch mahali, I don't see myself getting more kids. But anyway, never say never. Tutaona how that goes. So the delivery this time, it was different in the sense that the labor wasn't painful. Actually, I was able to make calls. I even ate and everything. Now the pushing part, you remember with Koi I said the labor was painful, the pushing was easy. With Jabali, the labor was easy, the pushing was hell. Like guys, nilisikia kila kamfupa kakitoka. Like it was bad. That part nilifeel the labor wasn't bad at all, because I labored from I labored for like 2 hours if I'm not wrong. Yeah, I think it was like 2. It was less than 3 hours. So that was easy. Guys, let me first check on my daughter Anita. So I got Jabali on 4th of July 2021. Again, July. I gave birth to July on 14th of July 2019. I gave birth to Jabali on 4th of July 2021. So for him, it's been a pretty much smooth journey, I won't lie. Breastfeeding was easy, no cracked nipples. The healing process was easy. The first time sikuwa jua hata mtu anafaa kukalia maji ya chumvi. Mother-in-law told me that, I think like 4 days later. So with Jabali already going into after the postpartum session, time, I already knew what to do. So that was easy. And then I think at this particular point, the struggles I'm still having as a mom is the fact that I still have dreams as a person. Yes, motherhood is great, don't get me wrong, but I want more. I want more out of life. I thank God for the babies, I'm grateful for them, but I still want to be able to live a life, a purposeful life. I feel like I was put here for more a purpose than just raising babies. No disrespect to anyone, but this is me and this is how I feel as a person. I just want more. I want to be able to use the education I acquired, as crazy and as backward as that sounds. I just want to do something else apart from being a mom. And also, I think I'm still struggling with time, finding time for myself, finding time to even shoot, to even think of ideas of what to shoot. That is also a struggle as well. My mental health, as at now, I can say is good. Well, don't get me wrong, motherhood is very funny. One day you wake up, you're happy, you're a mom, as in you're just grateful for the journey, the process and everything. And another day you wake up, jacket up to scale kid mom. As crazy as that sounds, yes, I'm strong enough to admit it. Sometimes I wake up and as in nikitwa tu mom nasikia niko irritated. Like I don't want, staki kusumbuliwa, if that makes sense. Sometimes I'm happy, sometimes I'm overwhelmed. So it's just finding a balance. Maybe if someone tells you that motherhood kwake ilikuwa mteremko, I don't think they are being honest with themselves and with you either. It's a blessing. I think it's the greatest thing that life has to offer, I think, for me as a woman. But also it has its own challenges, you guys. Si mteremko, you just need to find a way to cope. Find a way to not lose yourself, because at the end of the day the kids grow, they go to school and everything. Hutaki kubaki usikie ni kama maisha yako iliisha, and you don't want to tie your destiny to your kids. I feel like when you give everything to your children. So guys, make sure you find time for yourself, put yourself first. It's okay to love your kids, but usijisahau, like prioritize yourself as well. Thank you for watching this video. If you like this kind of content, give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe if you have not. Turn on your post notification bell so that you get notified every time I upload new content. And without further ado, bye guys.